Rusthaven was a city cursed, a skeletal wound on the earth where the sun never rose, only lingered, casting a jaundiced, feverish glow over crumbling tenements, cracked asphalt, and skies choked with ash, soot, and despair. In March 2025, its streets were silent, save for the wind's mournful wail, a dirge that carried the stench of rust, decay, and something fouler, like a sewer's dying breath, laced with the sweet rot of forgotten flesh, the kind that clung to your throat, your soul. The air was oppressive, tasting of iron, regret, and secrets, and the few souls who lingered in Rusthaven moved like phantoms, their eyes hollow, their voices whispers, their lives leached by a city that fed on hope, on dreams, on blood. Ezra Kline, a 29-year-old urban explorer with a battered Nikon camera, a notebook scarred with half-finished stories, and a heart scarred by loss, arrived in Rusthaven chasing whispers of a phenomenon that had poisoned the internet, the Skibidi Toilets. The viral videos, spawned by a deranged mind in some digital abyss, depicted porcelain toilets with human heads, their faces twisted, eyes too wide, mouths singing a warped, hypnotic chant, skibidi-dop-dope. Yes, locked in grotesque battles with humanoid creatures whose heads were cameras, speakers, or TVs, their clashes unfolding in desolate ruins like Rusthaven. The clips were absurd, a Gene Alpha nightmare dressed as a meme, but Ezra saw beyond the laughter, sensing a truth buried in the static, a darkness that pulsed like a heartbeat, a hunger that called to his restless soul, to the part of him that had never healed since his sister, Lily, vanished in a similar forgotten town a decade ago, her laughter stolen, her face fading, her absence a wound that bled every night. Locals, what few remained, spoke in hushed, trembling tones of noises from the sewers, of toilets that crawled, of pipes that watched, of eyes in the dark that sang, of a song that stole minds, that stole souls, that stole everything, that never stopped. Ezra checked into the last stop motel on Rusthaven's edge, its neon sign buzzing vacancy like a dying fly, its clerk a gaunt woman named Vera, with eyes like clouded glass and scars shaped like camera lenses, warning him to stay away from the old Titan Tech factory. "The pipes thing there," she muttered, her fingers twitching, her scars bleeding faintly, her voice breaking as if the song lived in her bones, her blood, her nightmares, as if she'd sung it once, as if she still did. Ezra's first night was a plunge into dread, the motel's walls paper-thin, creaking with every gust, the air thick with mildew, copper, and a sour tang, like spoiled milk, laced with blood, like a grave left open, like Lily's voice calling from the dark. At 2 a.m., he jolted awake, heart hammering, sweat cold on his skin, to a sound, a low, rhythmic chant, skibidi-dop-dop. Yes, faint but relentless, seeping through the floor, vibrating in his teeth, his skull, his soul, not just sound, but presence, a weight that pressed on his chest, clawed at his mind, urged him to listen, to follow, to join, to surrender. He grabbed his flashlight and camera. Curiosity, a stronger pull than the primal fear that screamed run. Ezra, run like you didn't for her, and traced the chant to the motel's basement, a labyrinth of rusted pipes, dripping valves, and puddles that reflected no light, only darkness, only eyes that blinked, watched, waited, their gaze heavy, their hunger alive, their song eternal. The chant grew louder, joined by a hum, not mechanical but organic, a choir of throats that weren't human, weren't animal, weren't of this world, their voices weaving a song that promised eternity, demanded surrender, offered hunger, offered Lily, offered eyes. In a shadowed corner, a toilet stood, its porcelain cracked, its tank leaking black ichor that moved, pulsed, lived, pooling into shapes, hands, faces, lids, mouths, pipes, all reaching, all her. Its lid creaked open, revealing a face not ceramic but flesh, eyes too wide, too wet, mouth moving, singing skibidi dop dop. Yes, yes, its smile splitting, its teeth sharp, its voice whispering his name. Ezra, join, sing, be us, be forever, be Skibidi, be Lily. Ezra froze, his flashlight trembling, the beam catching the face's glint, its eyes locking onto his, its song burrowing into his mind, peeling away his thoughts, his fears, his self, his sister's laugh, his mother's tears, his own guilt, his failure to save her, to find her, to be enough. The toilet lunged, not rolling but crawling, its pipes trailing like tentacles, its ichor rising, forming hands that reached, grasped, hungered, their touch cold, their weight eternal, their song the scream that clawed at his sanity, his soul, his name, his past. Ezra stumbled back, the camera slipping, its lens capturing the face, her face, Lily's face, but wrong, eyeless, singing. Before the pipes lashed out, the hum, a roar that tore at his thoughts, his memories, his will, his heart. He ran, the basement twisting, pipes bending, ichor flooding, forming words on the walls. Stay, Skibidi, forever, sing with us, be the tide, be the hunger, be her, be ours. By dawn, Ezra was back in his room, shaking, his breath ragged, his hands scarred from gripping the camera, his mind frayed, his heart bleeding. The camera's footage corrupted, showing only static and a faint, warped dop-dop that echoed in his ears, his dreams, his blood, his bloans, Lily's voice. Lily's scream. Vera poured coffee, her hands unsteady, her scars glinting under the motel's flickering lights, now red, now bleeding, now forming tiny pipes, tiny faces, her eyes avoiding his, as if she saw the song in him, as if she knew its weight, its cost, its truth, its lie. You heard it, she said, her voice hollow, her fingers digging into the scars, drawing blood that didn't drip but crawled, forming symbols, lenses, lids, spirals. Don't go to the factory. It's where they're born, where they feed, where they take, where they keep, where they kept her. Ezra froze, the word her, a knife, a hook, a hope. Who? He whispered, his voice breaking, his hands trembling, his heart screaming Lily. Vera's eyes flickered, not human, not hers, and she turned away, muttering, the pipes know, her scars pulsing, her shadow wrong, too long, too sharp, too alive. Ezra, stubborn, haunted, driven by a need to understand, to document, to survive, to find answers for Lily, for himself, for the boy who ran when she didn't, packed his gear and drove to Rusthaven's industrial district, where the Titan tech factory loomed like a tomb, its smokestacks clawing the sky, its windows black as voids, its walls scarred with graffiti that wasn't words but symbols, spirals, eyes, pipes, faces, lids, lenses, toilets, all pulsing, all watching, all singing. Bleeding ichor, their forms alive, their hunger awake. The factory was the heart of the Skibidi rumors, where locals claimed toilets battled tech heads creatures with camera, speaker, or TV heads, their bodies humanoid but wrong, their movements jerky, their eyes too many. Their purpose a mystery that chilled the blood, that broke the mind, that stole the soul, that sang her name. Ezra slipped through a shattered gate, the air inside thick with dust, ozone, and a metallic tang, like blood in circuits. The floor littered with broken TVs, their screens flickering with static that sang skibidied, their shards forming patterns, lids, lenses, mouths, hands, pipes, faces, her face, all moving, all alive, all Lily. The factory's history was a ghost in his mind, pieced together from old articles he'd read, Titan Tech, a 1980s tech giant, built chips for cameras, speakers, TVs, but closed in '93 after accidents, workers vanishing, machines running without power, pipes leaking black sludge, singing, watching. Rusthaven never recovered, its people fading, its city dying, its sewers humming, its factory waiting. Ezra's flashlight caught movement, and he ducked behind a crate, heart pounding, breath shallow, sweat cold on his skin, Lily's voice in his head. "Don't look, don't look, don't leave me." A camera head stalked past, its lens whirring, its body a patchwork of metal and flesh, its arms ending in claws that sparked, its steps silent but heavy, like it carried a weight beyond its form, a hunger beyond its flame, a song beyond its voice. It stopped, its lens focusing on nothing, then sang Skibidi Dop Dop, its voice a distorted wail, joined by other speaker heads with grills that pulsed like hearts, TV heads with screens showing faces, not human, not alive, their eyes voids, their mouths moving, all hunting, their song a tide that pulled at Ezra's mind, urging him to kneel, to sing, to join, to forget, to remember her, to save her, to fail her again. Ezra's camera clicked, capturing their forms, but the flash drew their attention, their heads turning in unison, their lenses narrowing, their grills humming, their screens flashing Ezra. See, sing, join, be Skibidi, be ours, be her. He ran, the factory shifting, corridors looping, machines waking, their gears grinding, their pipes leaking ichor that formed hands, grabbing at his ankles, whispering, "Join the song, be the tide, be the Skibidi, be the forever, be nothing, be Lily." The hum was a pulse now. In the walls, the ground, his skull, his blood, his sister's scream, her laugh, her silence, urging him deeper into the factory's heart, where the air was colder, the shadows thicker, the song louder, the hunger alive, the kide tighter, the crack wide. He stumbled into a chamber, its walls lined with toilets, thousands, their porcelain glowing green, their faces alive, singing in unison. Skibidi, dope, dop, yes, yes, their eyes voids, their mouths maws, their pipes writhing like snakes, their ichor pooling, forming rivers that flowed to the chamber's center, a shrine of filth, hunger, and despair. There stood a massive toilet, its tank a throne, its bowl a portal, its face not one but many, shifting biras, his mother's, his sister's, his childhood friend who drowned, his own, his father's, the face of every soul he'd failed, every soul Rusthaven had taken its voice, a symphony of despair, of hunger, of eternity. Sing, Ezra, be eternal, be Skibidi, be ours, be the tide, be her, be all. The tech heads entered, not fighting the toilets, but kneeling, their lenses dimming, their screens blank, their grills silent, as if worshipping, as if feeding, as if surrendering to a god that was no god, a tide that was no water, a song that was no music, a hunger that was all that was Skibidi. That was forever. The hum was a scream now, tearing at Ezra's thoughts, his memories, his name, his self, his sister's laugh, his mother's tears, his own guilt, his failure, his running, his staying, urging him to kneel, to sing, to join the tide that wasn't sound but will, wasn't life but something older, deeper, hungrier, something that had always been, that would always be. That was Rusthaven, that was the crack, that was the song. His camera fell, its last photo showing the thrown toilet, its faces laughing, its pipes reaching, its ichor forming words. Skibidi is forever. Ezra is all. The tide, the song is all. Lily is ours. Ezra's fear was a spark, his will a flame, his rage a fire that burned brighter than the void, brighter than the tide, brighter than the song, brighter than the guilt that had haunted him since Lily vanished, since he failed to save her. since he ran when she didn't, since he lived when she didn't. He grabbed a wrench from the floor, its metal cold, its weight real, grounding him, anchoring him to the world, to himself, to the fight, to her memory, to her hope, to his vow. He swung, smashing a toilet, its face shrieking, its ichor spraying, its song fracturing, its eyes blinking, fading, dying, its pipes collapsing, its hunger choking, its scream a plea, a curse, a promise, a name Lily. The others wailed, their pipes thrashing, their faces twisting, their ichor flooding, burning his skin, whispering stop, Ezra, sing, be us, be Skibidi, be forever, be her, be nothing. The tech heads lunged, their claws sparking, their lenses blinding, their screens showing him kneeling, singing, eyeless, mouthless, a toilet with his face, a camera with his soul, a speaker with his screams, a TV with Lily's eyes, begging, accusing, forgiving, crying, singing. He fought, swinging the wrench, shattering porcelain, cracking lenses, breaking grills, his blood mixing with ichor, his screams drowning the hum, his rage a beacon in the dark, a cry against the tide, a defiance of the song, a vow to his sister, to himself, to the world, to the boy who ran, to the man who stayed. The chamber shook, the throne toilet roared, its faces splitting, its pipes lashing, its bowl glowing, pulling, a void that wasn't empty but alive, hungry, eternal, its edges lined with teeth, its center a choir of skibidi-dop-dop, its depths a promise of nothing, of everything, a forever, of her, of him, of all, of none. Ezra threw the wrench, striking the throne's tank, and it cracked, ichor flooding, the hum collapsing, the toilets screaming, the tech heads dissolving, their metal melting, their screens shattering, their voices fading, their forms unraveling like smoke, like nightmares, like memories. He couldn't hold, like Lily's hand slipping from his. The factory trembled, walls crumbling, pipes bursting, the void retreating, the tide ebbing, the song dying, but not silent, never gone, never dead, never done, never done. Ezra ran, the factory collapsing, the ichor chasing, the shadows singing, Skibidi, Ezra, come back, sing with us, be forever, be the hunger, be thy bar, be ours. He burst into the dawn, the factory a ruin, its smokestacks fallen, its windows dust, its hum a whisper, its hunger asleep, for now, maybe for an hour, maybe for a day, maybe for a breath, but not forever, never, faith. Rusthaven was unchanged, its streets empty, its lights dim, its air heavy with rust, regret, and the faint echo of dop-dop, a scar on the world, a crack in reality, a wound that sang. Vera was gone, the motel abandoned, its sign dark, its rooms filled with toilets, silent but watching, their lids closed, their faces hidden, their pipes coiled, waiting, dreaming, singing in dreams, their ichor pooling, forming his name, forming her face, forming nothing, forming all. Ezra drove away, his truck rattling, his hands scarred, his mind frayed, his heart heavy with the weight of what he'd seen, what he'd fought, what he'd survived, what he'd found, what he'd never know, what he'd never forgive. The hum was faint, but there, in his head, his blood, his dreams, his sister's voice, her laugh, her scream, her silence, whispering dop-dop, yes, yes, we see you, we know you, we are her, we are all. He burned his clothes, deleted his channels, smashed his spare camera, burned his notebook, burned his memories, swore never to return, never to speak of Rusthaven, of the factory, of the tide, of the Skibidi, of her, of him, of the song that wasn't a song, but a god, a void, a truth, a lie. Sister, a failure, a requiem. But the internet didn't forget, didn't forgive, didn't die, didn't stop. New Skibidi videos surfaced, not in Rusthaven, but elsewhere, alleys in Detroit, basements in Seoul, sewers in Sao Paulo, subway tunnels in Moscow, abandoned malls in Ohio, churches in Prague, schools in Tokyo showing toilets, tech heads, and now a figure, tall and scarred, camera in hand, mullet. Singed, singing Skibidi, his eyes voids, his mouth a maw, his name Ezra, his song eternal, his soul theirs, his face shifting, becoming Vera's, becoming others, becoming all, becoming none, becoming the tide, becoming the crack. Rusthaven faded, its runes swallowed by fog, its crack sealed, its tide dormant, but not gone, never gone, always waiting, always hungry, always singing, always watching. The sewers hummed, soft but alive, the pipes stirred, the shadows danced, the toilets dreamed, their lids creaking, their faces waking, their eyes opening, their mouths smiling, their pipes reaching. Somewhere, in a forgotten place, a lid opened, a face sang, and a voice echoed, Skibidi dop dop, yes, yes, forever. We rise, we sing, we take, we are, we will. The world scrolled on, laughing at the memes, sharing the clips, spreading the song, feeding the tide, widening the crack, calling the hunger, unaware that each view, each like, each laugh was a note in the requiem, a step toward the void, a verse in the Skibidi, a brick in the factory, a pipe in the sewer, a face in the bowl, a sister in the dark. And Ezra, somewhere, felt it, heard it, knew it, his camera gone, his notebook ash, his life a requiem, his name a lyric, his sister a shadow, his guilt a chain, his fate a song that never stopped, that never would, that was forever, that was the hunger, that wet the knot. Was the crack, that was the end, or perhaps the beginning, or perhaps nothing at all, only the hum, only the chant, only the pipes, only the faces, only the void, only the song that sang dop dop, yes, yes, and waited, and watched, and smiled, and grew, and took, and was, always, forever. Serbi, furs, full, ways, forever, theirs.